Bitcoin price slumped below the 50 weekly moving average. But there is one piece of data that could turn things around. And that's exactly what I'm breaking down for you in today's video. Because if the Bitcoin price recovers before the beginning of next week, I believe that we are still on the bull run. On top of that, we are going to check some key crypto charts such as Ethereum, XRP, and Solana. Crucial price setups and the most relevant market news you need to stay ahead. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and check out some of my recent uploads. Now let's jump straight into the core of today's content. So on the daily time frame, Bitcoin just closed below the 50 weekly moving average. And this is extremely serious, because the 50 weekly moving average can be considered a turning point if you want to decide if we are bullish or bearish into this market. Based on the previous weekly cycle, you can see that the price has touched the 50 weekly moving average but recovered quite quickly. The RSI was below the 50, ranging around 30 and 40. And at the beginning of the week, that's exactly what happened to the price. We went straight down. But here's the thing, we actually closed below the 50 weekly moving average, which is already considered a red flag. The second one is the RSI that is now below the 50, again around 40. And although based on my previous videos, I was indeed expecting a drop, I was not expecting this drop. And that made you reevaluate the current daily and weekly cycle low for the second time. In addition to that, the sentiment around the market is right now finally at the extreme fear, just like we had back in April. And you also see an increase of the outflow from the ETFs, meaning people are taking their cash out of the crypto market. So from what we see right here, in general, the sentiment is quite bearish. And the only way we can turn this around is if we recover this price as soon as possible, ideally before Monday. However, how likely are we about to see a strong price reversal? And the first piece of data that I want to talk about is the US dollar index. From what we see, the DSS is about to cross over. From the price action, we can also see that the US dollar is about to reverse to the downside. If this actually happens, this is exactly what we need for the last push in 2025. The second piece of data that I'm closely watching is exactly gold. After gold's massive rally in 2025, it seems like it is actually losing momentum. It just retested the trend line right here, got rejected, and looks like it is starting to go down. If this actually happens, we are going to see a rotation from gold into Bitcoin, in which when the price of gold starts to drop, we are going to see the price of Bitcoin rising back up. And this must happen sooner than later, ideally Sunday or Monday, maybe beginning of next week. And I don't know you guys, but I find the current narrative, especially from the government, to be extremely weird. It might be just my tinfoil hat, but pay attention to this. We went through the longest US shutdown in history. And when we open back, the entire market crashes. And the first piece of information that I find to be extremely weird is exactly that. Right before the US shutdown to end, top US business executives attend a private dinner at the White House. New York Stock Exchange, Nasdaq, JP Morgan, BlackRock, so on and so forth. I mean, really, what did they discuss there? What was the dinner about? Do you really think it was random? And right after that, one day later, the US shutdown ends and we get the news that October CPI and jobs data will likely never be released. I mean, what is going on? Do you really think this is random or by accident? I don't think so. After that, we have the White House announces that the October jobs report will be released without an unemployment rate. So, from jobs data will likely never be released, we jumped to Jobs report will be released without unemployment rate. I mean, what the fuck is this? This is a circus. And then we get the news that the Democrats may have permanently damaged the federal statistics systems, with October CPI and jobs reports likely never being released. Can you trust this data? Doesn't look like, right? And then, finally we have US Labor Department says it will release employment report for September on November 20 at 8:30 a.m. I mean, you see the messed up narrative since the beginning. I see that and I don't trust it. And this is exactly why we must be extremely cautious when we're trading, because we are entering a game that was made for us to lose. So that's why I find extremely weird that since the US shut down, everything has been going down. And I don't think this is random. This type of price behavior here is something that we actually see as manipulation, poor manipulation. And you can even confirm that by taking a quick look at the liquidation heat map. I mean, look at this. There is barely liquidation from the downside left, but a huge amount of liquidation to the upside right here waiting to be taken. And it just doesn't get into my head how after a week like this, we just flipped bearish and we will continue to go down without taking all this liquidity from the upside. So I smell rat right there. If you consider this huge amount of liquidation to be taken, that's exactly one of the reasons why I believe that the price still has some chances to go to the upside to grab this, at least to the previous all-time high before we drop into the bear market. So when it comes to trade setups on the 4-hour time frame, I am on a position of wait and see. I'm gonna wait for the price to give me a strong confirmation that we are actually on a bear or on a bull market. In order to be sure, I have to wait until the price recovers at least at the 106 level. Then I can consider this order block right here from the downside, perhaps a liquidity sweep before continue to the downside. However, that's a bearish scenario. If we are on a bullish, then I would expect the price to gradually get back up and aggressively break out this region. Then I would wait for a retest at around this region before continue to the upside. So for Bitcoin, I'm just wait and see. Quite interestingly, Ethereum is ranging at around the 50 weekly moving average. I could place a trade at this region right here and expecting at least a pushback so we can take some profit. But just like Bitcoin, I'm gonna wait for further confirmations, especially if the price breaks above the 10 daily moving average. XRP was showing a lot of strength right here back at this region when it bounced back from the 10 daily moving average, but just like Bitcoin and Ethereum, it went through and now is ranging way below the 50 weekly moving average and the daily moving average. The bearish setup that I'm waiting for XRP right now is the price to get back up and maybe get into this order block right here with a liquidity sweep in this region before we continue down. Solana is surely on a bearish scenario. I would just wait for the price to go back into this region right here and who knows, maybe place a trade into this order block. Now, this is one of the things that I think that it makes this market extremely weird. We have been seeing narratives about XRP from the government, from the big institutions, saying that's going to be a reliable payment processing on chain. And everyone was expecting the XRP price to go parabolic. But guess what? Nothing happened. Suddenly, Zcash is ranging near its all-time high. Please explain me why. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. If you want, you can write your thoughts in the comments, please do so, because I have no idea how a coin like Zcash is outperforming pretty much all the other cryptos. But go ahead and tell me what you guys think in the comments. Do you think that we actually ended the bull run, or do you think that we still have some miracle for the price increase over the upcoming days? Thanks for watching.